Kieran, we're going to be here boxing Bants, and I'm really happy here to be joined with Liam Walsh, the Kingdom Kid, uh, as you like to call yourself, Liam. Liam, and you are at the moment currently the second youngest professional boxer in the country, Liam. So first of all, Liam, this is the first time I've actually got a chance to actually interview you since you've turned pro. So if you want to tell people maybe a little bit about yourself and how your journey's been so far.
It's been a very good journey. I turned pro and I had my first debut fight in Belfast in the Devonish on October, and it was a great experience with Boxing Ireland. And I mean, it was a great show. It was a hard fight for my debut, but I mean, it paid off well, and we got the 4 rounds. And then moving on to the second fight, we went over to England and boxing a Carl Greaves show, as the Dublin show got cancelled that Boxing Ireland were meant to have. So we went with Carl Greaves, and he got me a hard fight against Seamus Devlin, and that fight very well. I got 4 valuable rounds, and I learned a lot from it. And then I ended up signing with Carl Greaves, and we got put onto a Fight Zone TV show. So it was another step, another experience with more cameras and being on TV. And that was against Gennady. He's from Lithuania, and it was a very good fight, and I learned a lot from that fight as well.
Mm. Liam, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background? Like, you're originally from Kerry, are you? Your parents from Kerry, and your amateur background. So originally you're from Kerry, is that right?
Well, I grew up in Kerry, yeah, and I was also living in Northampton over in England when I was younger. So I got into boxing because of my dad. He was with King's Heath. He grew up boxing with Kingsthorpe in England, and they turned into King's Heath, and he was coaching over there then, and that's how I got involved into it. And then he's originally from Antrim, up the north. So we came back over, and he moved to Kerry for business. And now I've actually moved up to Kentstown, in just near Navan, because it's closer to the gym. Of course, I was staying in hotels, and it was too much to be doing away from family with hotels and stuff in camp. So we've all moved up here now, next to the gym.
That's interesting. So your whole family moved up to Kentstown, so you're closer to the gym. Like, so was that always was that kind of was your family okay with that? Like, they were just willing to support you doing that, or was there work for your family up in Kentstown as well?
There's work. We work all over Ireland, doing the roads. So there was no problem with the work. My family's always been a really, really big support with my boxing. And so they made the sacrifice of moving up for me as it was. And it's better for us anyway. We're much closer to Dublin, and that's better for my brother. So there was good reasons all behind it. It wasn't just for the boxing, but the main part was because I was in hotels at most weekends and most weeks. So.
Are you full-time boxing, or are you still working in the family business?
I'm still working with my dad. I'm driving the machine for him, but when I have a fight, I do take time off work and just full-time training while I'm in camp. But then I'm straight back into work and trying to get a bit of money behind me, you know.
It's interesting, yeah. The big sacrifice, obviously, you moving up here with your family as well. So it's great to see. So you, with someone who has a background in the UK as well, like, it wouldn't have been unusual for you to basically pick up and move over to the UK and start training with a trainer over there. What do you think it was that drew you to turn pro here in Ireland, stay here in Ireland, and train with Tony Davitt?
We were going when COVID hit. I wasn't planning on turning pro at the time. I was just going up to Tony, sparring. He had pros, and we were going up all over Dublin. We even went over to England and sparred a few pros over in England, because they were the only people at the time in COVID who could train. So it was good to stay fit that way. And Tony was a really good coach, and there was good history with him and my dad. And when I got on really, really good with Tony, and the bond is good. So he said it would be a good idea to go pro. I mean, I'm very young, but as the way it is with all this COVID, it's a good idea to turn over. So we did make the decision and we turned over.
Mm-hmm. What was the plan for you when you turned over pro? Was there any long-term plan, or was it more so just turn over with Tony and look to sign with some sort of a manager promotion?
The plans long-term for me is to go all the way and look for title shots, and hopefully go to the big world titles and stuff. That's my long-term plan. But at the moment, it's just take the fights, learn from all these tough journeymen, and that's the best thing we can do. Learn from the amateurs and change the style into the pros, and that's what we're doing at the moment.
Mm. How did you originally meet and get Tony Davitt Carl Greaves?
So one of my sponsors, Baz Jordan Surfacing, he's a long-term friend of my dad, because it's the same business as what we do, but it's over in England. And he supported Carl Greaves when he was a professional boxer. And Baz said to my dad that he can try and get him on a show. And that's how the link-up all came. So it was actually quite lucky. It all fell into our hands very well.
You are someone who has the joy of being able to fight for an Irish title, Celtic title, and you can also fight obviously for British titles, area titles, etc. Is there anything that's any of those that have appealed to you? Like, is there any that you've thought, I want to be an Irish champion, or I want to be a British champion? Like, what for you has had an appeal to you?
I definitely would love to win the Irish title and go the traditional route. And if it all comes, I can go for the British title as well. You know, I can even go for the Scottish title as well if I want to, because my mum's from Scotland, so I got family up there. And if it's a good opportunity, I'll take it later down the line. But so I would love to take those titles because it's a traditional route. So I wouldn't just want to jump into a world title or a European title just because it's there. I'd love to go the steps, you know.
Mm-hmm. So you're fighting this weekend. You're fighting the Doncaster arena, and this was originally changed from the fight that was on the same date, but now you're fighting obviously on a different card. And Brett McGinty's on the same card as well. First of all, do you have any idea about your opponent who you're going to be fighting? I'm
meant to be matched with Vasily Mamadov. He's from Russia, I think, but he's living in England. Mm-hmm. He's a tough opponent, and it's another different style in front of me that I haven't had yet. He's a little bit shorter, so you know it's a learning fight again, and hopefully we can take things away from it for the following fight after that, just to learn. I've been learning since my last fight in Newark for this camp, because I didn't do the best performance in my third fight. It was a good enough performance, but there was definitely things I could work on, and that's what we've been doing for this fight.
When you flying out to Doncaster?
Friday morning. Flight's at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Dublin.
So obviously you are in the very early stages of your career, and you're kind of just taking one fight as it comes. But Carl Greaves obviously has a lot of dates available for you and whatnot. Has he outlined any goal for you before the end of even next year and like that? Has he given you an aim in particular?
At the moment, we're just trying to move on to the 6 rounders, which we'll be doing at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And that's all we need to be doing at the moment. That's the next step. Just build it up, because this is a 12-round business. So we're at the 4 rounds at the moment, and then we need to build up to the 6 rounds and get used to that then.
I know you're quite young, and there's hopefully a very long road ahead of you. But if you were to walk away from boxing now, when you're finished your career in, let's touch wood, 15 years time or whatever it is, what would you consider success and what would you consider failure? Like, what would you be expecting to get out of the sport?
I wouldn't call anything a failure. I'm happy I've turned pro. Everything's gone well. I'm happy with everything, but I would love to win a title and be put down in history with winning a title,
mm-hmm.
and that would keep me pleased.
Yeah. And would that be any title at all? Irish title, British title, ranking title, anything like that?
Yeah, exactly. An Irish or British, even the Celtic belt, just a title to put me down in the books.
Yeah. Right. Well, Liam, I have to say I really appreciate your time, and it's been nice to finally chat to you and get to meet you and learn about you. And yeah, look, I'm really excited, obviously, for what's to come from you because you are so young and you've already got 3-4 fights now under your belt after this week. So yeah, really looking forward to the possibilities of you and Carl and Tony working together. So I appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me on. It's been really nice, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Hopefully, the next fight I catch you over here on this side of the water.
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Liam. Right.